Hello, it is me back in the kitchen, and I am making one of my ultimate favorite winter salads, and it's because it contains not only kale, but shredded Brussels sprouts that I actually need to stir around a little bit. I just took them out of the oven. So you basically just cut the ends off the Brussels sprouts, and I chop them in slices, and then use my fingers to pull them apart and put them in the oven at 350 degrees with a little spray of oil, and keep them in there for roughly 10 to 12 minutes, or until you see them lightly browned. That's a thing. Then I've got the kale, which is lacinato kale, which is also called dinosaur kale, on the skillet for a little bit just to soften it, and I hand shredded it. So it is kind of got like a chunkier texture. And I have my other ingredients, which are my favorite. Okay, slices of manchego cheese. So this is a Spanish cheese. It is so good. It's just got such an awesome flavor. I kind of feel like it's my departure off of when I don't want to always use Parmesan cheese. I use manchego in its place, and I love it. Then it's winter, so I've got some sliced pear, which I always feel is super good on a salad. You can heat it up in the skillet or just keep it fresh like I did. And then I bought filet. You can do skirt steak, filet, flank steak, all the leaner choices of steak. And I sliced it and then baked it in the oven for, again, 10 to 12 minutes. Because it's sliced, it cooks a lot faster, and you want to cook it to the temp that you're okay with. So for me, it's generally medium rare. And then we're going to do a dressing right now that is really one of the easiest dressings on the planet that a lot of people make. And it's so simple, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a fast forward tip on it. So I'm going to put a little bit of garlic powder instead of having to mince garlic. So this salad can be made, and I knew where my garlic powder was the other day. Onion powder, red pepper flakes. If you saw how much I have going on in here, you would understand. It's so hard sometimes to find things. Here is my garlic powder. So a lot of times I will use leftover meat from chicken or pork or something and make the base of this salad, because if you have a pear in the house, you have cheese in the house, and I always have greens. You can do this without the Brussels sprouts and just have a quick saute of kale, chop some pear, cut some cheese, and then put a protein on it, and all you really have to do is make the dressing. So I'm going to let this go and turn it down a little bit. Brussels sprouts are still hot. Ooh. Okay, turn that down. Awesome. So this is so simple. So I do a little bit of avocado oil. Again, I'm using avocado oil because, and you can do 2 tablespoons, because it has a very neutral flavor, other than olive oil, which has a very olive oil dense flavor. I do a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, not coarse ground, just like a light Dijon. I do a dash of mixed up salt. So it is, I get mine at Gibson's here in Chicago, but you can get it anywhere. Crazy salts, mixed up salts, flavored salts, things like that. Just it has, essentially it's just some spices, onion, a little bit of garlic, and salt, and a lot of times they put lemon in there, which I think is very good, but I have half of a lemon here that I'm just going to juice, and this is a very small lemon, so you don't want too much lemon juice because you don't want this to become a tart dressing. Throw that out, and then I am going to add in a little extra garlic powder instead of just the garlic that was in the crazy salt. If you have the time and you have it in the house, just mince a small garlic clove, and then I'm going to stir this up with a simple fork. Literally the easiest thing on the planet. And we are ready to plate our salad. Set that aside. I'm going to take the kale that I've lightly sauteed and put it in my bowl, as I'm going to eat this immediately as soon as I am done with this vlog. And then I have a spoon here with some of the Brussels sprouts that I shredded and roasted. Put that on top. I will show you this finished product, but look at these. They're so soft, and I love to use leftover Brussels sprouts, these roasted shredded, and put an egg on top of them for the morning for breakfast. It's so good, and you could do a little bit of the cheese. So I'm going to put some of the manchego cheese on top of here. It's so hard to make a recipe with this cheese and not just want to eat it all day. It literally takes like so much restraint on my part. We've got some pear slices. All right. Yum! This is so good. Okay, pear slices. Then I'm going to put some filet, use my fork, some filet slices in the center. And this is really, filet is so simple to cook in the oven. And you can also cook it in a skillet if you want. I just like to pop things in the oven, put the Brussels sprouts and the filet in the oven together. And then you're going to dress your salad, and this is what this wonderful creature looks like in the end. So good, so tasty. It reminds me of a restaurant salad, and that's what I love because I don't want to go out to lunch when I have all of these ingredients at home, but I can get a restaurant meal, or what tastes like a restaurant meal, at home. So this is going to make 2 salads. You can go to the blog, livingwithashley.com, for the full recipe, but you pretty much got the jig here. You want to have a cup of kale, 2 big spoonfuls, like soup ladle spoonfuls of roasted Brussels sprouts. Then you want to have 5 or 6 slices of pear, 3 or 4 slices of manchego cheese, a couple pieces, and I mean just a couple, you saw that, of the filet, because this is supposed to be a light salad, but I do love red meat every now and then a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half of the dressing that I walked you through. So this is super easy, so tasty. Keep leftover Brussels sprouts, have an egg on it tomorrow morning. You could even use a little bit of the dressing and some of the cheese, and voila, you've got a couple meals all in one. So enjoy the salad, guys. I'll see you soon.